Thursday. Sorry, Mrs. Johnson are not, or Mrs. Johnson and I are not here to enjoy the day with you. We are preparing this screencast to help with some directions on lead with a project. A little bit of background information on this particular project. It is meant to do a few things. First, to have you work in a group, very similar to what you'll be doing on your project charters for business partners. Next, it gives Mrs. Johnson and I some insight as far as how you work and collaborate with inside of a given team. And finally, it allows us as a group a way to kind of steer how we recognize each other and how we recognize the gifts that we have in our lives every day. So you will be in a group of 4. There is one group of 3, and we're going to work on this particular project. It should be linked up on day 13. It is written very much like a project charter that you'll be seeing in early October for one of our business sponsors. It basically goes through objectives, and our objective here is for us to work on recognition, both recognition of the great things that happen inside of this class when it comes to individuals, and also recognizing the opportunities that will come up inside of both this program, inside of the community, and inside of your day-to-day life. Key framing questions are really structured around the concept of how can we recognize each other, how can we recognize the gifts we have in our day-to-day, and also how can we recognize some of the resources that we have because we're part of this community. Things we're asking you to do would be to start with, and these are the deliverables, there's 4 of them, so we're going to ask you to collect some research around how do different organizations develop a recognition system for colleague to colleague? How do different systems inside of education use recognition from parents and teachers to students? How do other organizations implement recognition systems? So as far as like how might we recognize some of the great things from guest instructors or mentors? And also how do different businesses and organizations implement recognition inside of their day-to-days. We are also going to ask you to implement or create 2 tools that we could implement to support recognition on a peer-to-peer basis or colleague-to-colleague basis. So what that might look like, we all have been part of Affirmation Friday. That would be an example of one thing we could implement, but it's up to you to come up with 2 more of those. Then finally, we are kind of looking for us to create some sort of media around the recognition of resources within this program that we can share with future Compass students. We will also be asking for all of this to be put together inside of a final presentation. This is a little bit of a timeline, so we're going to start this project today. On Monday, we can start crafting deliverables, and then in a week from Friday, we will be asking you to share this out with the rest of us. The hope is that Grace Kerbeshian will be stopping in 4th block today, and hopefully she can help with a little bit of clarity around this. Otherwise, we will see you tomorrow, and hopefully you've gotten a start.